Good morning. Good morning. My name is Philip Domensic, and I'm the superintendent of the Cornwall-Lebanon School District, and I am very pleased to welcome you to our 23rd annual Veterans Day Breakfast Program. We hope that all of you enjoyed traveling through the Drive of Honor to get here. We have some of our high school students in the Battle Buddies Club, and our district ground staff were very busy yesterday setting up many flags and the patriotic signs to thank you and honor our guests for their service. If you could please rise now, if you are able, for the Honor Guard presentation of colors, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. And please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so bright
I'd like to thank Mrs. Rauchet, our Cedar Crest High School Concert Choir, and also Mr. Jared Dalbert and the Cedar Crest Middle School Falcon Ensemble for their music and entertainment. If we could give them just another big round of applause. Thank you. At this time, just have a few announcements regarding our program and our procedures. But it is also very fitting at this time that we pause for a moment. We pause for a moment now to remember those who have served very proudly and bravely, yet have gone ahead of us, some with years of service and some at a young age. We have set a missing man table in their remembrance on the stage, very near our country's flag. So if we could please take a moment now of silence to remember and honor their service. Thank you. For the breakfast part of our program, everyone will remain seated at their tables, and you will be served at your tables by our Cedar Crest High School students in the Battle Buddies Club, and also some of our district administrators. These students and their advisors, Mr. Thompson and Ms. Melissa Guy-Nash, they also are the ones who set up the drive of honor as you came in today. Another item of importance is that restrooms are located through the double doors in the back of the calf beneath the clock and go down the hallway straight ahead. Please also take notice if you go out into the hallway of the projects that were completed that are on the windows there by our Cedar Crest Middle School students in Mr. Travis Gundram's classes. So please enjoy your breakfast, and our program will begin at approximately 8:45 a.m. Thank you. I've enjoyed their breakfast this time, and also time for some greeting and fellowship and some gathering. I must begin my comments this morning by thanking for all of you for your service and for your presence here today. It is always a privilege to be able to stand here and say the Pledge of Allegiance with you. It is a privilege to be able to gather with you today and listen to our students sing our national anthem. And it's a privilege to be here today to celebrate and honor you and our past, our present, and our future. So today, we have the opportunity to show you our thanks, to be grateful for our freedoms, and to teach and pass on the importance of these values to our students. Obviously, we cannot have the nearly 5,000 students that attend the Cornwall-Lebanon School District with us here today due to space. That is why this program is now live streamed and made available for all of our classrooms in our schools, and that we've also provided many lessons to go along with it as well. And the reason that we do this is because this is one of the most important days to us here at Cornwall-Lebanon. We should never forget to remember this day as a school, as a community, or as a country. Or if we do, we have truly lost our way. One of the things that we teach children in schools are those infamous words from the preamble to the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Well, we all must also teach that these words, liberty, freedom, these rights, must be protected. This is ever more important in our modern society today, as we have some believing that there are other forms of government that would be preferable to our system. It's far too easy for each generation to forget how relatively new our form of government is in the course of human history. I found this quote from John F. Kennedy. It said, "Guard zealously your right to serve in the armed forces, for without them, there will be no other rights to guard." So while there's much discussion today about what should be taught on the national scene within our public schools throughout our country, teaching gratitude for service, the sacrifice of our veterans, and the cost and value of freedom really should be the priority that we should have in every single school district. Sacrifice, service, the cost and value of freedom. These are among the most important lessons that we teach here at Cornwall-Lebanon. So thank you once again for joining us as we honor you and we educate this next generation with our program here today. Thank you for that. So I would like to take a few minutes here today to thank some of the people who have made this morning's breakfast possible, because I'm very proud of all of their efforts. We could not do this without them. This takes such a team effort. So first, our cafeteria staff, Mrs. Emily Rodriguez, Ms. Tina Eisman, the entire middle school, thank you, all of you, for all the work on the decorations and the preparation of our meals this morning. Thank you. We also want to thank our district ground staff, our school police officers, all those who provided assistance to making sure that we can have with all of our schools starting. We have a lot of traffic coming in here, and they always do a great job, so thank you to them as well. We had a lot of preparations in this room, including Mrs. Robin Boltz, Mr. Newen, our middle school custodial staff for maintaining, prepping this facility, as well as Mrs. Linda Doan, Mrs. Cynthia Dunsworth, Mrs. Hackman, Mrs. Diane Chrissinger, Mrs. Liz Mertz, and Mrs. Jennifer Nazarchuk, and members of our Cedar Crest High School Key Club who are responsible for the setup and decorations today. Ms. Shannon Reich is that Key Club advisor, so if we could thank them as well. We also have students in our Youth Action Club here at Cedar Crest Middle School under the direction of Ms. Pam Ratick and some members of our high school Key Club who created the large banners that welcomed you to our campus. So thank you to them. And of course, I must thank our Cedar Crest High School broadcast video students who are here under the direction of Mr. Cody Hassler, who are streaming today's event. They will be creating a video that will be archived and shared across the district, as I had mentioned, for teachers to use. So thank you for being here. I also have to thank our district technology coordinator, Dr. Jason Murray, for all of his efforts here, and he's also carefully watching the blips in the electricity that we have here. Those were not planned. So thank you to him for all of his efforts. Thank you, Jason. And to the middle school student council and Mrs. Rodkey, the students who greeted and assisted our guests today and provided the beverage service. So thank you to them, as well as all the small jar table decorations that they provided. They will also be assisting with the cleanup activities. So we greatly appreciate that help as well. Thank you to them. And one last person I have to thank that I know that all of you know, and that's Mrs. Amy Wissinger for all of her efforts in coordinating all of these people to make sure that this happens. So thank you, Amy, wherever you are. Now we also have some very special guests and veterans to welcome today. And some of those are Madison Klocko, South Region Field Director for U.S. Congressman Dan Muser, 9th District. If you could please just stand and give a wave. Thank you for being here. State Senator Chris Gebhardt, 48th District. State Representative John Schlegel, 101st District. We have Lebanon County Commissioner, Mr. Mike Coon. Cornwall-Lebanon School Board President, Mrs. Ruth Ann Schlegel. Cornwall-Lebanon School Board Director, Mrs. Sue Diefenbach. We also have Cornwall-Lebanon School Board Director, Mr. Jeffrey Snyder, veteran who served in the National Guard. We also have several residents in our district who served in World War II and we believe are with us here today. Would you please raise your hand or stand if you are able? And the two gentlemen that I'm going to mention here, I believe, will be approaching a milestone birthday in the course of the next year as they near 100. World War II veteran, Mr. Earl Donor, Navy. And Mr. Frank Steller, Army. Thank you so much for being here today. Do we have any others who have served in World War II? If you could please raise your hand. Do we have any other World War II veterans today? Mr. William Long. also have many district students and staff members who have informed us that they have immediate family members who are currently serving in the military at home or abroad. About 280 of those students and their family members are in attendance today, representing 90 of the approximately 152 military families in the district of which we are aware. And we are pleased that some of you are here with us today. Thank you for being here. If you are one of our active duty guests, could you please rise so that we could show our gratitude for you today, our active duty guests that are present here today. If you could please stand. Thank you for being here. Also with us today are many of the 13 district staff members who have informed us that they are veterans. District staff members, would you please, veterans, district staff members, would you please rise and be recognized? Thank you. And certainly, last but certainly not least, it gives us great pleasure to welcome our district veterans and their guests, representing all branches of the military and holding service records that include wars and conflicts from World War II, Korea, Cuban Missile Crisis, Vietnam, Desert Storm, Operation Iraqi Freedom, the Gulf War, Afghanistan, and peacetime service. Could you please rise so that we may honor your service to our country? Thank all of you for coming this morning. We are very honored by your presence and you taking the time to join us today. Each year, the last number of years, it's been our pleasure to introduce the Cedar Crest High School seniors who have informed us that they have committed to begin military service following graduation this spring, or they are awaiting decisions from military academies. This year we have 13 seniors, I believe 12 of whom are with us here today, whose future plans include military service. Come on up here to the stage. We want to have you introduce yourselves and tell us about your plans.
Hello, my name is Christian Garbaron, and I'm joining the Marines. And yes, I joined because of the many opportunities in the Marines for my life going into the future. It'll prepare me, and maybe even possibly my future children, to have a wonderful and prosperous living, not like my own upbringing. I ship out in this summer actually. Thank you.
Right, my name is Pierce Weaver. I'm enlisted in the Army, and my ship day will be July 22nd of this year. I'm going to be infantry airborne. I'm going to go 173rd. So I'm very excited to go explore. I'm going to Italy, so I'll be super sick. I get to go see everything out there. The main reason I joined, though, was mostly for the discipline. It was kind of like a family thing. I have a lot of family, Marines, Army, so I kind of just fell into it. But I am very excited to join the biggest force in the military and ready to serve.
My name is Dominic Miesel. I'm joining the U.S. Army, And the reason why I joined is because my grandparent and my great-grandparent were airborne and infantry in Vietnam.
I'm Anthony Diaz. I'm joining the Marine Corps Infantry. My reason for joining is basically a lot of people in my family never really amounted to much, so I'm here to prove that I won't follow in their footsteps.
My name is Austin Harris. I'm joining the Marine Corps, and I'm joining it because I want to go overseas and serve my country.
My name is Christopher Bracero. I'm joining the Marine Corps, and I'm joining it because I want to take on the biggest challenge that we as men and women can take on. That's the selfless act of defending our country.
My name is Agama Velasquez. I've joined the United States Army as a combat medic. I ship out June 18th, and I joined the military to follow in the footsteps of my father, who was in Desert Storm, and my older brother, who's in the 101st.
My name is Andrew Hazelton. I'm going to enlist into the PA Air National Guard for security forces. I had a lot of family in the Marines, National Guard, Army, and 2 of them in the Air Force, so I'm looking to follow in the footsteps.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your plans with us, and very proud of our soon-to-be graduates from Cedar Crest High School and their willingness to serve and their commitment. If we could give them all just one big round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. I also know that we have some of the recruiters that are here today. If you could please stand and be recognized. We have some of our military recruiters in the back, so thank you for joining us this morning. So, together, Mrs. Guy Nash, along with Mr. Stephen Thompson, they serve as co-advisors for our Battle Buddies Club at Cedar Crest High School. Mr. Thompson, high school counselor, also the U.S. Army Airborne Infantryman, is here with us. Please come up and give us a little bit of an update about our Battle Buddies group this year. Mr. Thompson.
Good morning. It's wonderful to see everyone out here today. As Dr. Mensick shared, yes, I'm one of the counselors, and I get the privilege with Mrs. Nash to advise a great group of young adults at the high school who work with us in Battle Buddies. From the eyes, I'm seeing my slide is up, so it's good. But yeah, so Battle Buddies, we can stand up real quick and just so that they can see you. So these are just some of my Battle Buddies. Right now we have about a group of 35. We meet once a month. So yeah, so with high school we have different club periods. And so our group meets once a month, the last Wednesday, to get together. And what we kind of do is the best way to describe it is like a companionship program for our veterans who are residing here at the VA that we get to partner with. 2017, Cedar Crest Falcon came to me with the desire to serve our veteran population. And he actually proposed this idea to me, this club. And together we came up with the name Battle Buddies, because I'm sure many of you who have served or are serving Battle Buddies, like you get to basic training. A lot of times you're bumped up with another soldier, and like the drill sergeant will tell you, he's like, hey, this is your battle buddy. You're responsible for him, he's responsible for you. You take care of each other. And we just like that name to kind of like, that's our responsibility. We have all these wonderful veterans who've served our country, and who are some that reside here, and they just, we kind of get lonely, and don't get a chance to see family as much. And so what we do is different activities. Sometimes it's a craft, as you see up on the slide, where you're painting pumpkins, or doing like Christmas cards. That's what we're going to do this month. Sometimes we're doing videos. That's some of those pictures there. That's from this year. That was in the top corner. It's just our welcome video we sent over, just kind of introduce who we are and such. So we've been going strong. COVID really threw a wrench in our plans because we can't really be in the VA since COVID has started. So we've kind of have morphed to more of a mobile online format. But we are excited that we're working towards getting us back into VA, hopefully by this spring. So we're really excited to get back there. So it's a privilege, it's a great opportunity for us to do, to help remember some of these veterans that are serving there. And I thank you guys for your support in the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson, and thank you to our battle buddies for also being here with us today. Well, it is my privilege at this time to introduce our guest speaker this morning. And I'm going to need to say a few words because I do not think that she's going to share about all of her accomplishments and all of her service. So today's guest speaker is Chief Warrant Officer for Constance Snavely, retired, United States Army of Lebanon. CW4 Snavely retired on January 30th, 2004, after almost 23 years of active duty service. She was trained and served as a counterintelligence special agent with military intelligence assignments in the Republic of Korea and stateside. She served with Allied Command Europe, counterintelligence activities, Supreme Headquarters, Allied Powers in Europe, Belgium, with international forces in Sarajevo, Bosnia-Herzegovina, at the Joint Field Support Center, Defense Intelligence Agency, Fort Meade, Maryland, and U.S. Army Foreign Counterintelligence Activity, Intelligence Security Command at Fort Meade, Maryland. CW4 Snavely received her bachelor's degree magna cum laude from New York Regents, Albany, New York. And as a civilian, she is certified by the Handicapped Scuba Association to function as a dive buddy to paralyzed veterans. CW4 Snavely's numerous awards, medals, and ribbons include a Parachutist Badge and the Knowlton Award for Professional Excellence in Military Intelligence. She received the Inspiration and Achievement Award from the Keystone Paralyzed Veterans of America. During CW4 Snavely's military career, she conducted liaison and coordinated operational activities at the national level with the Central Intelligence Agency, Defense Intelligence Agency, Federal Bureau of Investigations, National Security Agency, Department of Defense, and Department of the Army. Her specialty required a detailed understanding of the laws and regulations governing intelligence operations, investigations, and the ability to comply with legal parameters. CW4 Snavely managed counterintelligence teams and operational offices, as well as conducted and directed and oversaw intelligence investigations and operations in the United States and in foreign countries. As a retiree, CW Snavely has not stopped. She's actively involved in the community and with Veterans Affairs matters and activities, including the Veterans of Foreign Wars Honor Guard, where she has served in more than 5,100 funeral details at the Indiantown Gap National Cemetery and elsewhere. She learned to play the bugle so that proper military honors would be rendered for fallen veterans with taps sounded live. The Lebanon Chamber of Commerce Military Affairs Committee recently honored her with the 2023 General Frank Smoker Beyond the Call Award. Please join me in welcoming CW Constance Snavely.
I was asked to come and speak at the breakfast, being a Cedar Crest graduate a few years ago, maybe decades ago, and a member of the VFW Honor Guard who's served here at the breakfast for numerous years. When I graduated high school, I wanted to become a police officer, but you can't at 18. So I went to my recruiter figuring I'm going to go see the world, get some experience. Well, the recruiter, I'm not going to say lied to me, but he may have misrepresented the job that I was getting into. Instead of being in the military police corps, I ended up as a counterintelligence special agent in the military intelligence corps. Instead of your typical investigations, I was investigating incidents of sabotage, espionage, sedition, and terrorism. I liked what I did, so that was okay, it was cool. So, my first assignment was in 2nd Infantry Division, Korea. I went to the officer to do a security inspection, and I asked his captain to see his appointment orders, saying he was a security officer. He looked at me and asked, "What says I have to have that?" I said, "Well, AR 380-5, Chapter 13, Paragraph 304 says that." He grabbed the regulation, looked it up real fast. The rest of the inspection went pretty well. But one thing I learned from that experience is that if you want to excel in what you do and be the expert, you really need to know the rules and regulations that govern what you do. Because I am that way, I ended up earning the nickname in my field of Miss Rules. So after I retired, military was all I knew. So I found the VFW Honor Guard and joined up with them. So what's one of the first things I did? I looked for the regulations that tell me what that mission entails and what is the rules and regulations. Well, in the military, fortunately, there's a regulation for everything. So I found Field Manual 7/21/13 that's titled Traditions. And according to that manual, traditions is a customary pattern of thought, action, and behavior held by an identifiable group of people. It is information, beliefs, and customs handed down by word of mouth or by example from one generation to the other. Basically, it is the Army way. It gives the feeling of pride to that soldier, of knowing why we do what we do and how we do it. It even goes to what we wear. The dress uniform I'm wearing is the dress blues, and it goes back to the Continental Army. I suppose if the North had lost, it would be my dress grays. The other thing you may have noticed is the pants is a different color, faded out from the coat. History tells us, whether it's true or not, it's a good story, that back in the days of the cavalry riding the plains, it would be hot, so they'd take their coat off, roll it up, and put it in their saddlebag. So then the pants ended up faded. Obviously, there were no women out in the cavalry riding side saddle through the plains, so if I was wearing my skirt, it would be the same color as my jacket. A general officer, since he wouldn't be out on patrol, their pants are the same color as the jacket. Whether it's true or not, this is the story tradition tells us, and it sounds good, so we go with it. Now, everybody knows how fast-paced the military has been these last several decades. But we want to ensure that every fallen soldier gets the military honors that they're entitled to. Federal law says that there will be at least 2 members of the service, one being from the deceased service, that provide military honors that must include the folding and presentation of the flag and taps. Veteran service organizations like the VFW are entitled to assist in these funeral honors to ensure that every veteran gets their owed military honors. We can serve as pallbearers, sounding taps, do the rifle volley, and other elements of the funeral. One thing that we provide is a rifle volley. This is often confused with a completely different, is it not working? Okay, sorry about that. I guess there's still some electronic issues. A separate honor that this is confused with is a 21-gun salute. In military vernacular, a rifle is a rifle, and a gun is heavy artillery. Think mortars, cannons. So the rifle volley is what we do. And that comes from the history of back when there was fighting on the battlefield, and they needed to clear the casualties and the injured off the battlefield. They would cease hostilities to do that, and then when the battlefield was cleared, the sides would fire 3 volleys to let the other side know that they were ready to resume fighting. It comes back from the European dynastic war era. The ceremonial rifle program is operated by the U.S. Army. They provide us with the rifles, which are World War II and Korea-era rifles, and with the blank ammunition. After we fire the rounds, we present 3 of the spent shell casings to the next of kin. It's supposed to be representative of each volley, and the shells represent duty, honor, and country. The 21-gun salute is used with cannons or howitzers, and that comes back from the British years ago when the weaker nation would fire off their cannons or their ships or the fortress. That puts them in the weaker state because it would take too long to reload. So that was considered a great honor to the other country. This was later used by the 16th century as a standard practice to honor heads of states. We use it now for special occasions, holidays like Memorial Day. A president, former president, would receive a 21-gun salute. And then based on your position, it goes down by 2. It's always an odd number. So a vice president would have a 19-gun salute. Taps is that well-known 24-note emotional sounding that signifies the passing and the fallen forever sleep. Bugle call. Bugle calls became used centuries ago. We didn't have telephones, radios, so a bugle would be used to sound the orders across the battlefield to large numbers of soldiers. There was a bugle call for everything you can imagine. It told the troops when to go to bed, when to get up, when to sleep, sick call, water call, Sunday call. There was one for everything. The twilight tattoo is a time-honored military tradition that dates back to the British Army 300 years ago. It was the bugle call that told the troops when to leave the taverns and come back to post to go to sleep. Tattoo was known as do den tap toe, or turn off the taps, to the tavern owners. This is what is believed to be the version that taps came from, and then shortened to taps from tattoo. This bugle call, taps as it is now, originated in 1862 during the Civil War. Army Brigadier General Daniel Butterfield didn't like the version that was being used, so he worked with his brigade bugler and they came up with the TAPS version that's used now. The other brigades on both sides heard it, they liked it, and they adopted it as their own as well. The call officially was adopted by the U.S. Army in 1874, and the first documented use of TAPS for a military funeral was during the Peninsular Campaign in 1862. They were burying a soldier, but the unit was hidden in the woods, and they didn't want to give away their position by firing 3 rifle rounds. So the commander decided to use TAPS instead. So this became the official use by 1891. The next piece of history is the caisson. They were used to pull 75mm cannons into battle. They were also used then to clear the fallen soldiers from the battlefield. They're still used at Arlington. The ones that they're using were built in 1918. They have 6 horses that pull the caisson. Riders on the left and the horses on the right are left riderless. Those were used to carry provisions and feed. Then the most well-known is the riderless horse that follows the caisson. That horse is riderless, the saddle is empty, and the boots are backwards in the stirrups, signifying that the soldier will ride no more into battle. This comes back from Genghis Khan time frame, when the horses were sacrificed to serve the fallen warrior in the next world. The flag is placed over the head of the casket, the blue field over the left shoulder of the deceased. The custom began back in the Napoleonic Wars in the late 18th and 19th century, when the flag was used to cover the dead warrior that was removed from the battlefield on the caisson. Casket flags are longer than the standard flag. The flags at national cemeteries are flown at half-staff throughout the day while burials are taking place. And after the flag is folded, it is presented to the next of kin. The proper way to fold a flag is to fold it 13 times in a triangle. That signifies the 13 original colonies. When it is completely folded, no red or white stripes shall show, only the blue field with stars. It is supposed to symbolize the triangular hat worn by the patriots in the Revolutionary War. The battlefield cross is a symbolic representation of the death of a soldier in battle. The cross is composed of the soldier's rifle, bayonet affixed and stuck in the ground, with the helmet resting on the rifle stock. In later years, dog tags hanging off the rifle, and the soldier's combat boots representing the final march of the last battle were added to the display. Although it's called a battlefield cross, it has no religious representation. It is believed that the battlefield cross was begun during the Civil War. It was used to mark the location of a soldier killed in battle, pending decease of fighting, to be able to go recover the fallen soldier. It really became more common sight during World War I and World War II. During the Korean War, the battlefield cross took on more significance as a way to provide closure to the fallen soldiers' comrades. Today, the battlefield cross is a way to pay honor and respect to our fallen comrades. During the Civil War, due to the mounting number of casualties, Congress empowered President Abraham Lincoln to purchase cemetery grounds and cause them to be securely enclosed to be used as a national cemetery for the soldiers who shall die in the service of the country. Today there are 155 cemeteries. Indian Town Gap National Cemetery, located here in Lebanon County, has 677.1 acres and opened in 1982. When it opened, the VFW Honor Guard began performing the military funeral honors there. Now we serve 1 week out of 3. While there are no official words to any bugle calls, TAPS has some lyrics that were added that are commonly known. These lyrics are attributed to Ruckert Hurd, a member of the class of 1878 of the Pennsylvania Military College, which became Widener University. If anybody has any questions afterwards, they're free to come find me and I'll try to answer your questions or get an answer for you, because you know I love to look up regulations and find you the answer. So thank you for your patience and listening and appreciation for our veterans.
Thank you. Thank you, C.W. Snavely, for your service to our country and also for sharing your message with us today. Details, traditions, all these are the things that are more important to pass on and to make sure that we keep. So thank you so much for being here and for sharing that. At this time, I would like to invite our Cedar Crest High School concert choir to return to the steps, and they will sing a tribute to the armed services.
Second.
While our students are filing in and I have a microphone that's hot, I would just like to say it is our privilege and our honor to perform for you this morning. I know that this is always one of the favorite performances for our students. So thank you very much for your service, and we appreciate and we are so thrilled to be here to honor you today.
We'd like to recognize each branch of service individually. Before each song is sung, I will announce the branch of service. If you served in that branch, please stand and be recognized if able to do so. The songs in order of performance are Army, Marines, Coast Guard, Navy, and Air Force.
To fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. Then it's hi, hi, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the cadence loud and strong. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, wherever we go.
Thank you, Mrs. Bashett and the Cedar Crest High School Concert Choir. Thank you for being here and for performing for us today. Such a meaningful tribute. We do have our final tribute that we have this morning to our veterans is from our students in all grades, kindergarten through 5th grade at South Lebanon Elementary School. Mrs. Heisey has made arrangements for this token of our gratitude for your service. So please take one of these that is on your table, the cards, the homemade cards that are on your tables that the students of South Lebanon created over the past several weeks. Please take one of them with you as you leave. Any remaining cards will be distributed to our neighbors at the VA Medical Center. I'd also like to say a very, very special thank you to VFW 23 for their honor guard service. It's always a pleasure to have you here, and we're honored that you can participate in our program today. One final aside, if any of you, and I was asked by a couple of individuals looking for our program that we hold in December for our holiday program, that information will be available on our website very shortly, and forms for that will be available in all of our school buildings, so you can simply go to the nearest school building to get that. We do hope that everyone today enjoyed and found this program meaningful. Before we leave, would you please stand, if you are able, for the retiring of the colors, and then please remain standing for the playing of taps. Thank you again for coming. Please travel safely home.